Hello everyone, welcome to today's broadcast, of which I'll be giving you my picks on this Friday's program at Santa Anita. So, to start off the day, race number 1, 6 furlongs on the turf for maidens, 54,000. My top selection is Dancing Force, the number 6. Raced in $75,000 races down at Delmar and did pretty well at 5 furlongs on the turf both occasions. Was up in the pace close and just couldn't get there quickly. It was out wide. My second pick is the favorite, Desert Rocket, who also raced at Del Mar and Santa Anita briefly in a lower race on June 9th. He ran at Santa Anita in a $54,000 at this same conditions, same everything. Maybe a little bit different with the heat, but other than that, it's pretty much the same. He ran down at Del Mar then in two 75,000s and came in second on both those occasions. Now is coming back for 6 furlongs. I personally think that this horse won't win, but he'll probably hit the exacta. And my third pick is Afternoon Nap, the number 1, who raced in a $75,000 and lost by 3 lengths in fourth. Moving on into the second race, 1 mile, $20,000 claiming, non-winners of 3 life. With a purse of $21,000, my top selection in this race is the number 6, who's also the favorite at 5-2 morning line, Dual Threat. Now, looking at this, you'll think that I'm insane for picking this horse, but let's remember, this is a $20,000 race, not a $40,000 in which this horse has been competing in. He went out into a grade 3 stakes race down at Del Mar. I think that's the Cool Girl, I think that's Cool Girl, but I feel like that it's the Cougar Stakes because the Cougar Stakes is a mile and a half. So that's that. That's why I'm picking that. Grade 1 or graded stakes races. And won an optional claiming of 50,000 at Santa Anita last time at an additional 16th of a mile. And my top selection is the other favorite, Keen to Go, who's running in 20,000 and a little bit lower, won by 13 lengths on August 16th down at Del Mar in a 1250 claimer, which was very impressive in my opinion. Got up to the lead at about the half-mile pole and just went away, didn't look back. Moved up into a 20 and came in second by 2.5 lengths. Not too bad, in my opinion, as a performance. Moving on into the third race, 6 furlongs on the turf, claiming a $40,000 for 3-year-olds and upward. Top pick here, Cane Creek Road, the number 4, who's breaking from post position number 3. Dropping down in class from a 50,000 to a 40,000. Gets the company of Smith on him, which is something that I love to see. I love Mike Smith. He's a Hall of Famer. One of my favorite jockeys running or racing in the circuit down in Southern California. He's won 67% of his starts so far in this meet, mainly because he's only had 3 starts and he's won 2 of them, which still isn't too bad in my opinion. My second pick is the number 3, Terry's Boy, ridden by Antonio Fresu. Moving up from a $12.50 to a $40,000. This horse can compete. He definitely could potentially stay up with the pace, considering that he ran at Golden Gate on the turf in a 32-1. But that was at Golden Gate on the turf. He's going back on the turf, though, if we look at that. 55 for 5 furlongs at Golden Gate is pretty good. And at Del Mar, he ran 57 in a 25,000. So he slowed down a little bit, but still can do pretty well in my opinion. Moving on into the fourth race, which is a 6.5 furlong event. Optional claiming of 50,000. And all these horses seem to be like they're 2 years old. Well, that's why they are. It's for fillies 2-year-olds only, which have never won $21,000. That's a very interesting condition I've never seen in my life before. But my top selection is going to be Lil Bit Bossy, 5-2 morning line, the number 4. Comes from an optional claiming of 50,000 and won by an impressive 15 lengths. Not single digits, double digits of 15 lengths, which is very impressive. Broke first and didn't look back, pretty much. Now, this horse did run against my second pick and lost by 12 lengths in 5th there, but we're not going to talk about that. We'll just call that an off day. Thirsty in Vegas, the number 5, is my second pick, who is getting the company of Tyler Bays. Ran in $200,000 stakes races at Del Mar in their meet down there. And probably does still have, or probably has a pretty good chance of picking up a check here at 5-1. So if you bet to show or something, you probably have a pretty good chance of cashing out here. Moving on to the 5th race, which is 6 furlongs on the turf of a maiden for $54,000. 2-year-olds. And my top selection, this may sound a little biased, but it's P-Town Prancer. I am in Pleasanton, which some people do abbreviate it as P-Town. But he's also got turf pedigree, too. He's from Sir Prancelot, which has had pretty good kids, I guess. Not kids, but I forgot what the word is. From Some Excess, which are both turf horses, by the way. So that's why, Pleasanton doesn't have a turf track. They're planning to get a turf track. I have no idea how it's going to work when there are already turns that are extremely tight here at Pleasanton. The only thing that I could think of is that they would have to run across the dirt and then have a dog leg out to turn back in, which would be the only thing to do. They'd have to demolish a bunch of houses and stuff. That's something that I could think of that they could do, potentially, to run there. Either that or they're going to just have 2-mile races where they're barely moving. It's one of the two options. Anyways, my second pick is the favorite, Cullen J. Ran at Del Mar in a 75,000, dropping down in class of about, $21,000. And to be honest, I can see the potential that this horse has in dropping down by a lot. He only lost by 3 1/4 lengths at Del Mar in that event. And I do want to also say that Far Overloaded ran in the Everett Nevin up here in Pleasanton. Ran 4th, 13 lengths away. That's all I wanted to bring up. Moving on into the 6th race now. 1 mile maiden claiming $20,000, which is practically the low horses of Santa Anita. My top pick be the number 8, Aeromax. Last time out ran in a $20,000 down at Del Mar and came in 3rd by a length and a quarter. Abel Cedillo keeps the mount as he's had for the past 2. This horse initially was running in maiden races. Now is moving into claiming events, so the owners are trying to get rid of him. My second pick will be the number 2 Supreme Coast. Ran on August 15th at Del Mar in a $20,000 and ran 2nd by a head. Has got an apprentice of 116 pounds, Welfine Orantes. My apologies if I butchered that name. But the lighter the weight is, the faster horse go. That's what I was taught when I was like 2. Although I never started watching racing until I was about 11. So we're going to move on. Now, the biggest event that everybody looks forward to at Santa Anita is the 7th race today on Friday. Or I guess tomorrow, if you're watching this on Thursday when I will upload this. 6.5 downhill. Everybody loves it. I love it. And yeah, Santa Anita is very unique with that. Anyways, you're going to love my top pick here. 15-1 morning line. But give me the number 2, Vital Herrera. Now, people are going to probably watch and say that you're insane, Matt. And let me assure you, my doctor said I am not insane. This horse ran down the hill on June 14th at Santa Anita, which was also closing day. Not the last race. Or no, I don't think it was closing day. I think it was the 15th or 16th that was closing day. I can't remember off the top of my head. My brain isn't that big to remember. But ran down the hill, came in fourth, 4.5 lengths off. Earlier in the year in May, she ran down the hill and won by a head. Tyler Bays has had every single mount since Breeders' Cup weekend at Santa Anita last year. He's had every single mount up until then. She ran in a grade 3. I have no idea what that is. I could not tell you. It's a 6.5 race on the dirt. That was ran on August 25th, 2024. Naturally, a horse that tends to usually run in allowances and optional claiming events, running in a graded stakes race, she ran up the track and came in 6th, 22 lengths off. My second pick, Tom's Regret. Now, Tom's Regret did run up here in Pleasanton and won the Oaks up here, Pleasanton Oaks of $75,000. Continued on with the circuit up to Sacramento and almost claimed the Governor Cup, but came in second, 3.25 lengths off. They moved him down here to run in that same race that the other horse that I was talking about, Vitaliera, was running in. And did a little bit better, came in one place higher, and won by 7 more, or was in front by 7 lengths or so. Now, a lot of people watching are going to say, well, why didn't you pick the favorite, Just Nails? That's a good question. Why didn't I pick the favorite, Just Nails? Well, I hate to bet favorites whenever, and I hate to see people betting favorites also. I don't know why people bet on the favorite. You don't get any money from it. But sure, Just Nails is very good down the hill. I remember watching Just Nails actually run down the hill on April 6th. No, that wasn't down the hill. But Vitaliera probably isn't a downhill horse, more of a router horse. We're going to move on now into the 8th race, 1 mile, claiming of $50,000. My top selection is not on the first page, but instead on the second page, where we take a look at number 5, Mischief, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Ran back-to-back allowances for $50,000 at Del Mar at a mile. And at 137 came in second, a length and 3/4 off. And then 1 second faster, came in third, 3.25, or 7.25 lengths off. I can't talk anymore for some reason. I have no idea what is happening. And my second pick is the number 8 Saltwater Cowboy. Was running on the turf originally before at Gulfstream, moved out to Del Mar to try and run on the turf out here with Kazushi Kimura, and it didn't work well on August 3rd. They moved him onto the dirt on September 1st in a 40,000 maiden claiming, and broke his maiden there and won by 3 lengths in the time of 137. So practically a little faster than the number 5, but they'll be battling up in the stretch, hopefully, if that's how the race unfolds, by taking a look at these past performances. So, the last race, 1 mile, on the turf, maiden $54,000. My top selection, number 5, Lee's Baby Girl. Ran at a mile on the turf on August 17th at Del Mar for $75,000, and came in second, 3.5 lengths off. Now, this horse has proved that she can run on dirt and turf at a mile, because if we take a look at her last start, which was actually 8 days after that turf race, she once again came in second, 5 lengths off, though. My God, 141 for a mile, so they were crawling. I take back what I just said about this horse being able to run on the dirt. 141 is extremely slow for a mile. That's a mile and a 16th pace. I could get out there and run a mile. Probably not. Anyways, moving on. My second pick, Sea Runner. A lot of you probably have heard of this horse. Ran in the juvenile, I believe, Philly Turf listed stakes of $100,000. Came in third, 4.5 lengths off. Earlier on August 3rd, went in a maiden and lost in third by 4 lengths. So my top selections are the 5 and the 4 in the last race at Santa Anita. My apologies for not posting my picks for Sunday. I didn't really have the time as school was making me hit the books a lot more than I normally would do. Thankfully today I did have some extra time to scrap up and record this video for you. Hopefully you pick, or my influence has given you a couple of winners on Friday's program at Santa Anita on October 4th of 2024. The Cal Cup was definitely exciting. Unfortunately, Muth decided not to run and ran 5th. And, it's not something that I was hoping for. But Muth finally did not finish in the top 3 for the first time in his life. I don't know what happened there. He may have actually broken down. I'm not sure. I couldn't tell from the angle that I had off of my TV. But anyways, I hope you have fun whether you're sitting at home or at Santa Anita. Or if you're just wanting to watch this and then go to the races and see how accurate or inaccurate I am. I wish you the best at Santa Anita whenever you go. Goodbye.